My name's Michele Antonio Matuzzi, and my first sort of proper job was with Home and Away, playing now I play the character Constable Neil Stevenson. At the time it was, I think, Police Officer Number 1 or something like that. But I got a call from my agent at the time, and she called up and said, you know, they want to see you for this role. And it was just a 50-worder, it was a one-off role, and so I was stoked at the time. You know, I went in to film this role, and I didn't hear anything for about 6 months after that. So I called up my agent at the time and I said, you know, why don't we send some new headshots? And I had a new reel, and I was going over to America to study for a bit, so we sent all that stuff through to the casting director, and within a couple of weeks I had my second episode. So sorry about the mess, mate, but it at least means you're clean for the moment, hey?
For the moment?
Yeah, well, you're still a person of interest. I wouldn't sweat it too much. This isn't the only place we're searching, and it looks like we've come up with something that could clear you, all right?
Right.
Before acting, I was a federal officer. I worked in the federal police as a federal officer in a tactical team. So when I first got the role on Home and Away, I remember it was one of my favourite actors. It was either, I think, Benicio del Toro or Sean Penn. It was on an interview that I saw, and the interviewer asked him, he said, you know, where do you start with your character? And he said the shoes. So I thought, well, if there's anything that I can try that might, you know, help me to get more in the character. So that's what I do now. I use my old boots from the federal police. They're all sort of a bit tattered up, but I just polish them up, and I use those boots on set. Just walk in there and do your ID, you look at the camera and...
Hi, I'm Emily Johnston. I'm 22 years old and I'm from Sydney, Australia, and I'm really excited about this role.
I asked you to do your ID a few times because I've got a long name, so usually maybe I do 3 or 4 IDs, but so I'm practiced pretty good at that. So. If you can do all your research before about like your character, you've got that sort of solid, you know exactly who your character is, what he wants, what your objectives are in the scene and what's required of you in the scene. And also knowing that sometimes the scene isn't always about you, so it's not about your character. Your character might be, you know, supporting the actual overall framework of what the storyline's about. So you actually go there with the performance in mind. You actually give the director something, so he can either say, okay, look, that's too much, just back it off a little bit. I think it's a lot easier than going in there with kind of nothing, no preparation, and then he's going, just please, you know, give me something. Like, the StarNow profile, I think it's very important to have it filled out correctly from an actor's point of view. You know, you've got your headshot up there, you've got lists of credits of things you've done with date, so people know that you've been actively working, or, I mean, even if you haven't, that you have a clear headshot, a show reel, and just to make it easy for whoever's casting you, that they can click on your page, see your photo, see what work you've done, who you are, end of story, bang, get them in for an audition. Because that's what someone told me once, your job is just to get the audition, and then after that it's out of your hands. So, you know, the easier you can make it for someone else, the better chance you have of, I suppose, getting the job.